getting cold. Baby, I just want you close. I got all this joy in my heart, and if it's getting dark, yeah, we can go inside. Baby, won't you hold me tight? I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. Ooh, the rest just fades away. You and me, a magic holiday. The fire is burning bright, and the snow is falling down. Honey, what you need in your arms, that whole world disappears. 'Cause when I'm feeling down, you're there to love me right. Nothing compares to this, it's such a bliss. My only wish is I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. Oh, the rest just fades away. You and me, a magic holiday. A magic holiday. I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to see you today. My name is Kelly Rossouw, and I have a YouTube channel, and that's basically what I do. I do cricket tutorials of all different kinds on my YouTube channel, embossing, engraving, card making, all that kind of thing. And I'm so excited to be here today. I love doing live streams. I love interacting with you guys. It brings me so much joy. And I've been looking at your comments and seeing some of you guys are excited to try or have already tried the card technique, and it's worked for you, and it was something that you weren't going to try before, and that makes me so happy. So I just want to say thank you for stopping in. Good morning to you guys. It's evening for me in South Africa at the moment. It's currently 6:30 p.m., so it's almost dinner time. It's hot at the moment. I know for a lot of you in the US, it's cold. So I'm going to send you some of my heat because I don't want it. It was very hot today. And yeah, I've just been having an awesome, awesome time making some fun cards and working on videos for you guys. And I've just had the absolute best time. So thank you so much. My hair is absolutely fun. It's one of my favorite things that I get to do for myself, and lots of other people like it. It brings them joy as well. So I just want to show you once again the card tutorial that I put together for you guys, and that was to make these 3 cards. All right, so we did the layered technique, the layered stencil, and I used some texture pastes. I used the Simon Hurley Solar, or this was the Lunar paste on here that gives you the nice embossed kind of look on your cards. Or you can just go for like a muted look with blending brushes and just normal inks and things like that. It was so much fun. So now my stencil that I cut, I've run it through my Cuttlebug a few times. So it's looking a little bit worse for wear because I've also used my stencil to make an embossed background. So I cut all 3 of the files, the original file, which is why I gave you the original file as well as showed you how to like separate it out so that you can do fun things like this and use your Cuttlebug if you have one to make an embossed background too. So I'm loving my stencils, having so much fun. And this is one of the freebie files that I gave you, where it has like some nice fun snowflakes, and I did an embossing on that one and then put it on just a normal light blue card base. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm thrilled to be here and happy to answer any kind of questions. What special plates do you need to run the stencils as embossing folders? Very good question. So I actually just took the most important special one is just a silicone sheet. Now this is just a baking sheet that you get at the baking shops. I got mine from just a local baking shop in South Africa, but I know that you can get these exact ones on Amazon. And then I just cut it down to size. And I ran it with my A plate, my B plate, which I've already packed away, and my C plate. And it runs just through perfectly like that, and it actually works like a bomb. It works really well, so you can use your stencils for embossing as well as super fun things. So that's why I like using the slightly thicker stencil material. I know that the other stencil class that was that was on the day one, she also spoke about, using type of stencil material, and I think she has a very similar material to this one. This we just have in South Africa. It's called frosted sheet. It's, cut down from a bigger sheet, and then I just use them for my stencils. It's very inexpensive. The Cricut stencil material is nice, but again, it's expensive. This stuff is much cheaper. It's nice and thick, so it does give you, this nice emboss when you're working with it on your actual folders. And when it comes to using your texture pastes just as a stencil, it also gives you a nice ridge there. So if you want to zoom in there a little bit, there you can see, it gives you a nice dimension so that when you're actually using it for your texture pastes, it still looks really nice. So Cheryl asks, in the stencil class, after I selected the twigs, what button do you press? My base file kept disappearing. That is a good question, Cheryl. It depends on the actual method that you took. So if you have the twigs open, and then you, let me just see if I can open up the project here, because then I can actually show you everything that we do. So let me just open it up for you. And then I will share my screen as well as soon as I have the file open, and then show you exactly what I do. And then maybe we'll figure out where you're going, where it's going a little bit upside down for you. There we go. Because basically what you should do is, in the contour feature, now the contour feature has changed a little bit, and it is a little bit frustrating because sometimes the elements don't always end up working quite well. And you've got to move things around and play around with them a little bit. So here we have Cricut Design Space. All right, so if I zoom out just a tiny bit, then the twigs, this is the one that you were talking about. So let's just move these off to the side. Now the twig section, when you click contour, you won't be able to now sort them in descending size order because that's changed recently. So maybe what you're doing is you're accidentally selecting the big square at the back that you need to have available. So if you don't have that square selected, then you will just have plain twigs. And that's not a problem. All you need to do there is just click on it, go into contour, and then just make sure that you have the outside rectangle selected, because that one needs to be there. You need to have it predominantly pink or whatever color you've changed yours to, and then just have the little twigs. Let me know if that works for you, and if not, then we can try and troubleshoot and figure out what's going wrong and what we can fix. Ooh, Susan asks, what is my favorite thing to craft? My favorite thing to craft is absolutely 3D crafts, 3D paper crafts. I actually have a huge unicorn in the corner of my room, and in just behind me, we have my little fox and then my nutcracker, that's what he's called. And my unicorn is gigantic. So this was a personal project that I did just for fun. It took me far longer than it probably should have, but it was one of my favorites. So Cheryl says, I don't understand. Can you start from the beginning with the twig and berry file? Okay, cool. So let's go onto the contour. And I'm going to show all of the contours so that we have the whole file. So we've got the whole file just like this. And then what we want to do is we want to click on contour. It matches the hair. Yes, it does. It does. That's one of the reasons why I had to make it. It was just so much fun. And I realized I'm not showing you my screen. So let me just show you my screen again. So we've got the base file and we're going to click contour. And then you can see everything that's there. Everything that's there. Susan, this file I got the unicorn I got on Etsy. And then the nutcracker and the fox I got on Cricut Design Space. So those were just available there. And they're both, the nutcracker is a larger file, so it's going to be the biggest that you can make it on a maker machine or an explore machine. And that one is available on my profile, upsized and already sorted and everything. So my profile on Cricut Design Space, you can check that out there. You can just search Kelly Rossouw and it'll be in there. All right. But now for Cheryl, so what we're going to do is we're going to click hide all contours. All right. So now we've just got pretty much nothing available. It's showing us just the top little one. So what we want to do is you can click on the outside square so that that's visible. And then we can just go through and select all of the twigs. Now, like I said, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do it now than what it was when I filmed the video because it's all changed. I mean, these things change all the time. So we're just going to scroll down on the panel on the right-hand side. I always do that. And we're just going to search for the images that look like the twigs. So I'm just clicking on them. Every time I come across them, I'm just going to click on them in the side panel. So we're just going to scroll down. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm showing the twigs now. They were hidden and now I'm showing them. When the panels on the right-hand side are gray, then they are not visible. And then when they're white, they are visible. So then you can just go through and just select each of the little twigs and then just show them when they get there. And then once you've done all of them, there's only a few left. And then you should have the design looking exactly like how it was in the video. There we go. And there's another one. And then second last one. And then the last one. So now we've got all the twigs. We can see in the design that we've got all the twigs selected. And I'm then going to just click away. And there we go. Perfect. I hope that helped, Cheryl. Just going through it again sometimes makes a little bit more sense when it's worded a little bit differently. I hope that helps. All right. So can you use any machine to do these? You do not have a Maker 3 wish list. So in terms of the paper crafts or in terms of the stencils? So in terms of the paper crafts, yes, you can. You can use any one of the Cricut machines for these. The Joy will be a little bit more difficult because they don't have the scoring function, but you can just change your lines to foil. It's not going to work as nicely, but it'll still work. And then your designs will be smaller. And with the other, oh, great, Cheryl. I'm so glad that you got that. Well done. You are most welcome. Happy to help. So you don't have to have a Maker 3. You can do these on the Explore Air 2, on the Explore 3. You can do them on the Joy Extra, also again with the same foiling hack, as well as the Maker and the Maker 3. So you don't need to stress about not having the Maker 3. You can do them on all of the machines. And the stencils, cutting the stencils as well, you can do that on all of the machines, because with the Joy, you can just set it to, cut many times. When I cut through my stencil material, I've got to cut 4 times. So I've got to do 4 passes. and you can do that on the Joy as well. So don't stress about not having the latest machine. You can do this project and the paper crafts with all of them, which is really great. Yeah, I've got lots of things shared on my design space, and I've got some, if you guys want a little sneak peek because you guys are here, this little design is coming next week, and I'm very excited. It's a free, you'll be able to, even if you don't have Cricut access, you'll be able to make this, and this is going to be shared on my design space as well. So you guys get a little sneak peek because you're here. So I'm very glad. I'm very glad to have you guys all here. Yeah, it's been so much fun making all of these projects, and I'm very excited to be part of this. And I'm very grateful to Brandy for and Stamp Me Some Love and everybody on the entire team for having me on. I just love, there's just so many things that you can do with these machines. And I mean, what I did with these, like if we look at the actual project that I made, so this is actually adhesive vinyl that I put on cardstock. So, I mean, I cut it out of sticker vinyl. It's removable sticker vinyl, and I just left it on there. Oh, I managed to put it onto the cardstock. Worked perfectly. And this is also textured metallic vinyl, and that is put onto like a little bit of, I can't think of the word now, that slightly clear cardstock paper type thing. Cannot think of the word. Susan, that's a good question. Does my craft room count as a tool? I've got so many things in my craft room. I'd love to bring it all, but I would probably say my cuttlebug, because my cuttlebug, if I was stranded on a deserted island, which craft tool, vellum. Thank you guys, vellum. That's the right word. It was completely out of my mind. So if I was stranded on a deserted island, the tool that I'd probably take with is my cuttlebug, because I'm going to assume that I'm going to have access to my dies, because I suppose while those are technically tools, they kind of aren't. And I'm also going to assume that I'm not going to have any electricity, because if I had electricity, obviously I'd take my Cricut. I think everybody would take their Cricut if they had electricity. So Jean or Jean says transfer tape. Yes, I use transfer tape. You just need to make sure that your transfer tape has been used a few times, because otherwise it'll pull up the fibers on the cardstock. So by using slightly old transfer tape, you can then transfer it on very nicely, and it won't rip up the cardstock, which is very useful. I did it on this one as well. So they actually came out perfectly, and there was no damage to the cardstock at all. Cheryl says she makes lettering out of wood. Oh, I'm going to mess up that word. Marqueterie pale, which is French straw that comes in beautiful colors. Have you tried making those of have you tried many of those light wood cutting? Oh, that's interesting. That sounds fascinating. Is it very similar to basswood or balsa wood? Because I've tried quite a few basswood and balsa wood projects. I have a video on my YouTube channel on how to make a little mini album out of basswood or balsa wood. But if it is those thin wood kind of materials, then you probably could cut it on your Cricut with a knife blade, which is super fun to do. I mean, it can be a little bit frustrating because it takes a really long time, but the payoff is so worth it. It's a nice, thin 2mm wood. Super, super fun to play around with. And especially if it comes in different colors. The straw is very slightly lighter than wood, but it has great colors. That's very interesting. I mean, theoretically, you should be able to do it with, your knife blade if it's a little bit softer of a wood, because the balsa wood and your basswood are very soft woods, so they're malleable and you can easily cut them, which is obviously how we cut them on our Cricuts. And it's like I said, it would just need to stick to the strong grip mat. So I'm not sure if that would be a problem. If it's straw, it might be a little bit soft, maybe a little bit too soft. I'm not quite sure what kind of wood or straw it is. So my concern would be that the strong grip mat would potentially damage it a little bit. Yeah, that sounds great. If you could send me a link to an email, you can tag me in the Facebook group, or send me a link on social media. It's Kelly Rossouw everywhere, with some slight variations every now and then, because trying to choose a name on social media at this stage of the game is difficult. Ironically, I haven't had Kelly Rossouw my whole life. It's only by my married surname. So yeah, it's been difficult to try and claim a new social media name now. It's taken in so many different places. Did you get good at doing this by following other people's projects' recipes? Oh, Milika, that is a very good question. I think when it comes to me and things that I do, I don't actually watch a lot of people's videos and things like that, unless there's a specific project that I'm trying to do. The way that my brain works is I can kind of, in my head, break down a project into certain steps and then try each of those steps with things that I've learned through trial and error. I think they like to call it a kinesthetic learner. So when it comes to a project, like you can see here with my stencils, when I was actually playing around with the stencil, I completely damaged my stencil because I was trying to use it on many different materials until I actually figured out that the silicone was the right one. So I do a lot of trial and error on my projects and a lot of just figuring out what is right, what is wrong. I know that we're all wanting to save our materials and make sure that we're using, not making any mistakes. But out of mistakes, we tend to learn the most. So when it comes to making a mistake, I don't think of it as making a mistake. I think of it as school fees. And that's what I try and tell everybody that I interact with. And they say to me, oh, they're so upset because they made a mistake and they messed up a cup and things like that. And I say to them, okay, if you had to go and do a course for this, how much would you have paid? Sometimes we'll pay, I'm not sure what course like in-person classes and workshops, things cost in the US. But as an example here, they're about 400, 500 Rand, which is about $25 or so, $20, $25 for a 3-hour workshop. So if you've just wasted $3 on a cup because you damaged the cup because of something that you've done, you've now learned something and you've paid school fees to be able to learn a new technique or something new. So I try and reframe the way that I think about making mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, and that's how I learn. By making mistakes and by trying new things, you get to try new techniques and really make sure that you are just having fun. And by framing it in terms of paying school fees and workshop fees, then you generally find that you feel better about making mistakes and not in terms of, oh, I'm a failure because I made a mistake or something like that. No, you're taking a course, you're learning a new subject, and you're paying school fees for that. So that's how I learn. I make mistakes, I mess things up, I pay school fees, and I've learned something new at the end of it, which is super, super fun. So I hope that helps. Is there any type of crafting that you dislike? That's a good question. I don't think so. I enjoy trying a little bit of everything. I enjoy learning something. I think adhesive vinyl is probably one of my least favorites, but I still enjoy doing it. I'm actually busy with making a cup at the moment, which I can give you guys a sneak peek to as well. I'm busy with a nice gingerbread cup that is going to go on this little cup here. And again, not one of my favorite crafts, but it is still going to be very fun. We'll see that. It's going to go around the top there. So, it's not one of my favorites, but it's still something that I like to try every now and then. Dale says, what material exactly do you use for stencils? So this material that I have, like I said, it's called frosted sheet. It's different in South Africa than what it is in the US. You might come across it and it might be mylar. So it'll be a lower gram mylar that you can try, lower micron mylar, maybe 125 micron or something like that. And that's what you can try. That will be similar to what this is. Brandy asks, any upcoming events? I've actually got a live stream happening in 1 hour on my YouTube channel. So we are going to be making stackable mugs. So I have a pack of stackable mugs right here. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to be doing those on a live stream. So it's essentially an online class, a free online class. We're going to be making these fun stackable mugs. And I'm very excited for it because it's going to be a lot of fun. So join into my YouTube channel. It's Kelly Rossouw. And then, subscribe and come and join me. There's lots of videos there for you guys to watch. I've got hundreds of videos on my channel. I've been doing this for quite a while and absolutely love doing it. I don't think I'll ever stop. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, my other videos are lots of fun. I mean, if I do say so myself. I really, really, really enjoy anything, cricket and crafty. These are plain white mugs, yes. So technically they are plain white mugs, but they are the stackable ones. So when you open the box, they are all just plain white, but they look different to the normal mugs. So, but you don't have to do, if you want to just learn how to make mugs, then you can just come along. I'm going to show you a technique that works with these stackable mugs. They've got a little bit of a lip at the bottom. So when you have two of them out, they actually fit into each other, which is really nice. They are ceramic. So you see, they fit into each other just like that. And then they don't move around. I have to obviously bend this to show you, but they don't move around. They're really nice. And then you can create a nice graphic that flows all the way up the mugs. So it's a super fun technique to try. Joyce asks if you need a mug press for those. It's easier with the mug press. You theoretically don't. You can do them like you would do normal mugs with shrink wrap and on and in your microwave or convection microwave. I think you can try. Some people have done it there. Your air fryer or your oven. You can do it in there as well, or your 3D press. There's so many ways that you can make mugs. I prefer using my mug press. So I'm going to be using my mug press in the live stream in an hour. But yeah, that's the main way that I like to do all my mugs. I've got so many mugs. I'm sure people are sick of getting mugs as gifts from me at this point. Oh, great, Dale. You said I've just opened our world to be much larger. I love it. Great. That makes me very happy. I'm very, very thrilled. And Gina says, hi, sorry, so late. No worries. As long as you're there at 8 on time. That's my mom, for everybody that's wondering. That's my mother. She's always like one of my number one supporters. I absolutely love it. It's one of the things that makes me very, very happy. But yeah, I really had so much fun, and I'm so thrilled that I could show you guys my techniques and how to make the cards. They are really so much fun making all of these cards with you, and just finding different ways to play around with your stencils as well is what's fun to me. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please, when you guys have made something, if you've used this technique or if you've just gone what we've spoken about today with embossing with your cards and your Cuttlebug, please share some photos in the group. I would absolutely love to see what you guys have made. Thank you so much for joining. I cannot wait to see you on in an hour on my YouTube live stream making these stackable mugs. And remember, be kind to someone today. See you soon.